George, tell us more about the political wave. How is it taking you?
Yeah, from where I sit, I think we are very well, because I have the drive, I have the focus, I have the plan, and I am the people's project. Mm-hmm. I am not a puppet of anybody, because when you are a project of a clique of people, they will hold you at ransom. Even when you are forming your government, they will try to twist you to appoint people who may not necessarily merit for the positions in terms of assisting you to deliver on your vision. Mm-hmm. So when I began this journey, I was determined. I knew that political formations would come late, after the parties have done their primaries. Of course, individual members of different political formations will rally behind the candidate, the flag bearer for gubernatorial on that particular party. Mm-hmm. And of course, the recent meetings about leaders from Bungoma appearing to endorse somebody, it has not gotten me with surprise. It was expected, because of very many things. Mm. But the fact remains that even when you ask 70% of those leaders, mm-hmm. they will tell you that I have sacrificed, I've been there for all the team. Mm-hmm. When Tawe movement was coming up, of course, they made serious attempts to also colonize Bungoma County, and I think I was there on behalf of the whole team. I have made some enemies in the name of Natembea, in the name of Eugenio Malua, because many times I will intrude in their meetings, lecture them, but because I had the support of the people would cheer me up. They would give me some kind of latitude or insurance to lecture them in whatever language that I think was appropriate at that time. I was doing so not because they are my competitors, but because they were fighting for space with one of our principal in Kenya Kwanza, Speaker of the National Assembly, and I was really out to ensure that the influence, if any, for the Speaker of the National Assembly in Bungoma remains intact. And because I'm their foot soldiers, I'm their army, they are our generals, I felt like I should be there for members of our team,
so
including our
individual for Kenya.
The whole of Kenya Kwanza.
Okay.
Most of us were in the coalitions who are supporting our beloved President William Ruto. Mm-hmm. And even our individual members of parliament. I have been there in Tongaren, where the Tawe movement was positioning herself, as a movement of the present and the future. They wanted to plant a candidate, against our own Secretary General of Fort Kenya. I was there for him. I was there in Webuye East. I was there in Kandui, and I have sacrificed and made a few enemies because I was fighting for them. But their change of allegiance to whatever has happened, I don't really blame them. Mm-hmm. And I am not bitter about them. I will pray for them. It is their democratic right to decide whom they are supporting. But again, it's still too early, because parties will do their primaries, and whoever the parties will front for various positions, every single member of those parties will automatically lie behind that candidate. That is why I have made a decision that I will not fight those who do not support me, because politics is dynamic. today you are supporting this person, tomorrow you change your allegiance to support the other person. And as a governor candidate, I will have a responsibility to ensure that I become the fulcrum, the engine of campaigns for the party that I will fly her flag. And by so doing, then it leaves you with one principle, that I may not try to weaken a person who is not supporting me now. Maybe it will be my responsibility to make him strong.
Speaking of that,
after some time.
speaking of that, what is your current relationship with Honorable Speaker Moses Wetangula?
My relationship with the Speaker Moses Wetangula is very cordial. Have a close personal relationship with him, very enriching. He has been supporting me hitherto, and I will continue to defend him as Speaker of the National Assembly. I will also continue to defend him and support him as a principle of Kenya Kwanza, but I will find it so difficult to defend him in his position as party leader of Fort Kenya, because majority of his troops, members of the county assemblies and members of his party, including the Secretary General of his party, Honorable John Murumba Chikati, and the chair of the Bungoma County branch, the chair of the Women League, they seem to prefer a different candidate apart from myself. And I think common sense will tell you that if you want to go far, not just in terms of politics, even in a relationship, you stay with a person who's happy about you. Don't waste time with a group that appear to be tolerating you. You sit, dine with a group of people that are glad that you are in their midst, people who celebrate you. And there is a singer from Luo Nyanza that sang a song to mean that pendana na mwenye anakupenda, yule hakupendi wachana na yeye. That is the principle. And I think from where I sit and where I stand presently, the love that I experience from the people of Bungoma, from all the 9 constituencies, when I visit them, when they hear that I'm coming, they turn out in large numbers. It means I inspire hope in them. And that when they see me, they see an individual who will hold their hand and march into the future. I represent fresh breath. And at least because somewhere, when I began, of course I've been told, I've been reliably informed that a clique of people who don't support me, they don't support me just because of jealousy. The fact that I'm very young, I'm young, you know, on record, the country should know that since independence in 1963, I have been the youngest person to be elected member of parliament in Western Kenya since independence. And when I came in and won the seat on a less popular party called Jubilee in 2017, I opened doors for very many young politicians because of my track record here. And I have been told that those who do not want to support me, they don't want to support me because they feel they are my seniors, they feel I'm their junior, which I agree I'm their junior because they joined politics even when I was still in primary school, and they are jealous of my political trajectory. If you look around the politics of our country, you will realize that I am among the very few members of parliament in Kenya, maybe 5 or even 3, that have maintained strong grassroots support from the day we were elected to date.
Okay.
And that kind of makes them a bit envious of my rising political star. And the fact that I went ahead of them to declare that I want to run for governor of Bungoma, and somehow the people of Bungoma received that news with jubilation. So they feel like they have to pull me down.
Mahesh, back to Honorable Speaker Wetangula. Back then we used to see him supporting you so much. Even everywhere you were going here in Bungoma, he was with you, even the president. Now that Honorable Tim Wanyonyi, who is also Moses Wetangula's brother, is vying for the same position that you are vying for as for the seat of Bungoma governor, do you think Honorable Moses Speaker still supports you?
You know, like they say that blood is thicker than water, and I also, because politics can divide families. And I would not be that kind of a person that I would be happy to see the Wetangula family split in terms of some are supporting me, others are supporting Tim, and maybe put the Honorable Speaker Moses Wetangula in a very precarious position. I will give them an option to knit themselves together by assisting them to make a decision that if the whole brigade of Fort Kenya feels like I am not the right candidate, because I can't force myself to them, to their party. So if they feel like I'm forcing myself to them, and that I may want to appear like I want to put them on a collision course into the divided attention, I can give them an opportunity.
Speaking of that,
to field Tim as his brother, but of course I've had him say that he doesn't want to associate himself with the name of Wetangula, but that is their family name. And with me, I have reached a point of no return. I have the support of the people, even before I haven't spell out my manifesto with the people of Bungoma. That one will come at the right time. So with me, I am focused, because when I made a decision that I want to be the governor of Bungoma, the only person that I consulted was my wife, and we are all in sync because she has supported me throughout. So I made a decision, and then of course I have my team who are just local people. I have around 800 people that we convened, we had a discussion, we looked at many factors, and I managed to persuade them that I have what it takes to march forward insofar as the gubernatorial position for Bungoma is concerned. And to me, that is all I need.
Mahesh, as you
to add on that, Mahesh, when you made a decision to be Bungoma governor, of course there are some few things that you saw, and you would, maybe if given a chance, if you get that chance, because of course you're the incoming governor, what will you do? That's one thing that you start with, because of course najua umeona vitu mingi sana Bungoma, vitu ambavyo ungependa kubadilisha, and I know people from Bungoma, they are watching you right now, they will watch these videos. What will you do? The first thing that you do?
Before I answer your question, I am prepared to face off with anybody, because I believe I have the brains, I have the track record, I have the will, and I have the support of both God and the ordinary citizen. I have remained a front runner for a very long period of time. And my political competitors, those who are afraid of my candidature for their own reasons, it will be sectarian reason that may not make sense before the people of Bungoma. They have tried, at one given time, even the governor of Bungoma was not supporting me. And the entire government system, I'm not sure if they have changed or not, but I will continue to persuade everybody, regardless of their rank and file in society. But they have tried. They have brought about close to 6 candidates, and they have all fizzled out. Even the one that they have brought a few days ago, I am sure they may abandon that project because that group of people seem to be very good in monitoring and evaluation. That once they launch a project, they do monitoring and evaluation. If they realize that that project is not viable, they abandon it midway. It remains a white elephant and they go to take another one. With me, the train left the station. In terms of what I will do for the people of Bungoma, I will tell the people of Bungoma on what I will do for them next year, the month of May. But what I want them to do now is that I want them to begin evaluating me in terms of how I have utilized the 100 million from CDF that we receive as a constituency. For your information, and I want to go on record, you cannot compare any constituency in Nairobi with a rural constituency in terms of development. I can give you an example. A constituency like Westlands has less than 10 schools. In the entire constituency, less than 10 schools. Kimilili constituency, we have a combined school population of 126. Kandui constituency, we have more than 200 schools. And we receive the same amount of CDF. So you will be wrong. It will be foolhardy to compare how a member of parliament in a city constituency has utilized the same CDF, and you are comparing him with a constituency like Kimilili or Kandui or Tongareng or anyway, any part of the country. I say so because I have been a member of parliament for this constituency for 8 years. Within 8 years, I've revolutionized the schools, which I will invite you after this interview. You can move around and check. I have done magnificent 52-story buildings. We have built schools from scratch. Yeah, it's a school like Nakalira where we relocated the school to a new site and put up the whole school of 14 classrooms and administration block. A school like Trajamungu Primary School. And even as we speak today, we have also begun to tile all our primary schools, do landscaping, put cabro, and phase out the buildings that were built in 1960s and 1970s. You will take a tour to see for yourself. So if you were to divide the number of years that I've been member of parliament, if you were to divide the number of built for the last 8 years with the number of years that I've been member of parliament, then you will realize that maybe in a year I've built like 20 schools in a year. But if you were to divide the 9 schools of like for example in Westlands constituency, divided by the 15 years where the member of parliament has been, then you realize that that member of parliament, if you were to mark his exams, you are his teacher, you will simply write down there that please see me with both your parents on Monday morning in the staff room. This is a truth that should remain. That being said, I was already aware, in politics, politics is not different with when you go to war as an army. When you go to war as an army, the people you begin with, you might not finish with them. Some can die along the way, others can surrender, some can be captured by the enemy, and then you may have a new team and a fresh team that you can come together and move forward. So I was already prepared as a trained military person. I was already aware, and I have a manual on how to deal with the candidates who will emerge, considering that the seat for governor of Bungoma is not a reserve of a particular individual. Not for me, not for anybody else. It's a seat that anybody who qualifies can declare to run for it. But just for a preview of what I intend to do for the people of Bungoma. If you walk around my constituency, you will see for yourself. Of course, there have been had propaganda. Whoever that has an issue with you will continue to have an issue with you regardless of how you look like. If you are slim, some will accuse you of being slim. The same people will accuse those who are fat that they are fat. Whether short, whether tall, people will find something somehow to punch so that they can slow you down. And that is how politics is played in our country. So we have some who have tried to water down my development record. Of course, number one, they agree that I have revolutionized the infrastructure in education in my constituency. I have built magnificent story buildings, but then they reach a time they say, oh, those story buildings are condemned, they are substandard. You will walk there and see the substandard in them, you will actually be shocked that those are just statements by my political instructors to be able to make the people of Bungoma to turn against me. They came up with a narrative that because both the first and third governors come from Kimilili constituency, they came up with the slogan that Kimilili is not a quarry where governors are harvested. And of course, I explained to the people of Bungoma that being born in Kimilili was not my mistake and was never my decision. It was the decision that my mother made when she got married to my father, who happened to come from here. That's why I was born from here. If my mother could have been married in Bungoma town, I could have been born in the Bungoma town. And even those people who were trying to accuse me that the reason why I am not qualified to be governor of Bungoma is because I was never born in Bungoma South, Bumula or Sirisia or any other part of Bungoma. Even them, they were fully aware that they were born where they were born because of the decision of their mother. If their mother decided to get married in Masai, hopefully they could be the one jumping hero for the tourists in Masai Mara. So that slogan could not work, So they tried to put roadblocks ahead of me, but that is the nature of politics, and I am committed. I have the will of the people. I am the people's project. And the advantage that the people's project enjoy is that when you are privileged to form government, the people you will appoint as chief officers, as CECs, the people who will benefit from the tenders that will be advertised under your government, they will all be available for everybody. Anybody within the territories of the county of Bungoma will have an equal chance of being appointed CEC, being appointed chief officer, and they also have an equal chance to win the tender that will be advertised, because nobody will hold you like a puppet to mean you are our project, you have to give this person a tender, you have to appoint this person. So to me, I say I have the energy and I'm very happy to be the people's project. For your information, in 2017, I won the seat for member of National Assembly for Kimilili on a Jubilee ticket. And I remember that time when there was a very strong opposition movement called NASA. I remember, Kimilili is at the center of Bungoma County. I remember Kalonzo Musyoka will come from Kitale, Raila Odinga will come from Kakamega, Moses Wetangula will come from Bungoma town, and they will all converge at Kimilili T-junction, and they will all rally the people of Kimilili to Nasami. I don't know, I didn't know to where at that time, but the people of Kimilili were gracious enough not to follow what they were saying. And it was one of the strongest opposition front that this country has never had. But then the people of Kimilili gave me an opportunity. That is the time that I knew that we have much benefits when you are the people's project.
Yes, speaking of that, yes, you were elected through the Jubilee ticket as a Kimilili member of parliament. And then later on you decided to move to Fort Kenya. Are you still going to vie for the governor position through Fort Kenya, or you're going to go back to Jubilee?
I think
in addition to what she has asked, the current party politics in the Republic of Kenya, they are playing a very major role in fronting the candidates due to the current coalition between the president and Honorable Raila Odinga. Honorable Tim was supposed to be fronted as an ODM candidate for Nairobi gubernatorial seat, and now they have the team has moved to Bungoma. My question is, do you think that the party politics will play a major role in deciding who will be the governor of Bungoma come the year 2027?
The person you've mentioned that he has left Nairobi for Bungoma.
Yes.
For avoidance of doubt, that person has not come to Bungoma because of his personal conviction. There was a trap that was laid for him. Governor Sakaja for Nairobi is battling for his re-election. It's a do and die for him. And of course, Governor Sakaja was the first Kenyan to embrace broadcast. When he accommodated the remnants of ODM by then in his government with a view of steering forward Nairobi city so that he can focus on delivery of his plans for the people of Nairobi. So, because he's facing some stiff competitions from Babu Wino and of course the person you've mentioned by then. I don't want to mention his name because I'm a very big brand. My that outpace is very huge. When I mention his name, it's to his advantage. So I don't want to mention his name. So Sakaja has just realized that he needs to begin to do some kind of elimination. So he has used some group of people to kind of, and when you want to eliminate your opponents, so that you remain alone, you begin by the quick wins. Those which you can chew double, you begin by them, that those that you don't spend too much time with them. So the first candidate has been the person you've mentioned, and they are somehow managed, because what happened is that Baba appeared to have changed his allegiance. You know, these are people who have survived politically because of the golden finger of the big boss. These are people who have benefited, not through their own intelligentsia and wisdom and plan for the people, but they have been beneficiaries of supporters or members of a particular party. So the members of ODM are the ones that put the people you've mentioned in various positions. So when they appeared when it was a bit clear that Baba and the ODM people are not favorable to them, then Sakaja somehow managed to convince the party to speak with him, so that he can be pushed to come to Bungoma, because it came at the time when all the people he was supporting, including himself, the ODM did some kind of grassroots elections for the party officials in Nairobi, and I think the guy lost. He wanted to be the chairman of ODM. He lost to Aladwa. And all the people that I was supporting in all the constituencies in Nairobi all lost, and that was a red flag for him. And also the gods seem to have transpired against him. They have just brought him to Bungoma, and they're just simply fattening him for slaughter. I say so because of the support of the people of Bungoma. I am the only person in the Republic of Kenya and in the whole world who can stage a parallel rally to Raila Odinga, and the people leave Raila Odinga's rally to come to me. I am the only person in the whole universe who appeared on a rooftop next to a stadium where the opposition leader by then, Raila Omolo Odinga, was holding his meeting. And all the people left the meeting to come to where I was. That is Baba himself. I think anybody imagining that the person you've mentioned can come to scare me around here, I think that is something that your guess is as good as mine.
Mahesh, back to my question you haven't answered.
Yeah.
You were elected to a Jubilee ticket when you were vying for the Member of Parliament for Kimilili. And then later on you moved to Fort Kenya. And then now Fort Kenya has come up with affronted another leader who is Tim Wanyonyi as Bungoma governor. Are you still going to vie with the Fort Kenya ticket, or with Jubilee, or with any other ticket?
Number one, you are wrong. Because my name has never appeared on any ballot paper under Fort Kenya Party. 2017, I won on Jubilee. 2022, I defended my seat on United Democratic Alliance Party, and in UDA. And the reason why I joined, I closed ranks with Fort Kenya Party was during a by-election, and I wanted to test whether the people of Bungoma can accept me as their governor in 2027. So I said I never wanted to walk alone. I wanted to walk with a team of people.
The majority.
So that's why, and I felt like because the party leader of Ford Kenya was Speaker of the National Assembly, and I thought that it is an opportunity for me to take over the candidature of David Wafula Wakoli as Senator for Bungoma. Hold his hand, move in every part of Bungoma, so that the people of Bungoma can see me. It was like an introduction for me, because I felt in Fort Kenya they will give me a clear opportunity to be the face of the campaigns. Because number one, I was a UDA member of parliament, and the fact that the UDA had fielded a senator in the name of Mwambu Mabonga, I wanted just to use it as an opportunity that number one, I am very independent minded, because I remember we were called by our president, and we were all instructed as UDA members of parliament to rally behind David Wafula Wakoli, and I went against my party's position. That one, I wanted to show the people of Bungoma that I'm independent minded, and you cannot sway me with anything, either with money or power or anything. That I'm an independent minded, and when I decide that this is my direction, that is it. You cannot change me. You cannot use your position to intimidate me into abandoning my journey. So that is what I wanted to achieve. And on record, if I had supported Mwambu Mabonga, Mwambu Mabonga could have won the Senator of Bungoma. I say so because the difference between Mwambu and Senator for Bungoma now was around 15,000, less than 15,000 thereabout. And of course, if the people of Kimilili could have not followed me to vote for him, Mwambu would have won. This is not will have been the Senator of Bungoma. So that is what brought me together with Fort Kenya. In terms of the question that you asked me about which party I will run for, there are very many political formations in our country, and my candidature is akin to a beautiful young girl with curves walking on the road. The suitors are the ones who comes to that girl. That beautiful girl, she's not the one who goes to tongozaring men. So the train left the station, my candidature, I made a declaration, I left. The current party, if you check my membership is in UDA. So going back to what I said, anayekupenda pendana na yeye, asiyekupenda wachana na yeye. That is the basic principle.
So you no longer have any commitment with Fort Kenya?
I have no commitment. I have no commitment, and I said during the opening remarks that I would defend Moses Masika Wetangula as Speaker of the National Assembly and as a principal of Kenya Kwanza, but I will not defend him as party leader of Fort Kenya.
What do you think about Fort Kenya currently?
I have no time to think about parties. The time that I have is to think about how I am going to implement my manual so that I can wait away any slightest opposition to my candidature that will come. I am committed, and I will use all my time not to think about parties, but to think about the modalities on how I am going to send projects back to the center. That is where I'm focused currently.
Mheshimiwa, I would love to borrow your mind on a current issue that
my support base is very huge. When I mention his name, it's to his advantage, so I don't want to mention his name. So Sakaja has just realized that he need to begin to do some kind of elimination. So he has used some group of people to kind of
on the intergenerational conflict dialogue. I once, if my mind serves me right, last year during the Gen Z demonstration, you yourself once tweeted that you have been declared the Gen Z leader. Now, I would love to know your ideology in regards to the current intergenerational conflict dialogue between the Kenya Kwanza administration and the young people of the generation of Kenya. And also, on my second question, I would love you to give us your ideology in matters one former deputy president, impeached deputy president regarding Gachagua. In his US tour recently, he dismissed the ideology that Raila Amolo Odinga has brought on the intergenerational conflict dialogue, saying that Raila and William Ruto have nothing that should benefit the youth of this country, and so there is nobody that should sit and dialogue with them.
One thing I want to tell you is that I am in sync. There as a country we require a national conclave so that we can have a discussion on what are some of the issues that the government of Kenya need to focus on and what are the concerns of the Kenyan people. We are living in an era where things have changed. Kenya as a country is no longer governed by rulers. It's a country governed by governors, governed by leaders, and things have changed. We must usher in the era where the people that you are leading must be given an opportunity to tell you on how best they can be led. And that can only be through a national conclave. For your information, even here in Bungoma, there are very many things that have happened in a few days or a few weeks. I am convening also a county conclave in a fortnight, in the next 14 days. I will convene a meeting of around 10,000 people in a place, the venue and the date that my team is currently working on. And in the next 14 days, we are going to have a conclave for the people of Bungoma. I look forward to hosting 10,000 people, where we will have a discussion in terms of our stand on a number of emerging national issues, our stand on the current political situations in our country, and most importantly, on which position we are going to take, dictated by the current political happenings in Bungoma. And by so doing, a number of the questions that you've asked me and I've said I have no time, we will discuss them during that county conclave, which I want to tell you, I have the capacity to convene a county conclave of more than 10,000 people in the next 14 days. That is going to happen, and from that time, we will take a position on a number of things, because you see, as a governor candidate for Bungoma, from today going forward, I have agreed to be a puppet of the people. I have agreed to be a conveyor belt to process what is in the minds of the people of Bungoma. And I will take each and every opportunity to knit myself to the people to the level where it will be difficult even for the devil himself to detach me from them.
Mheshimiwa,
You asked me a question about our former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, on what he said when he was in
The
the United States. And I want to repeat again that it's a fact that our impeached former deputy president is not fit to hold any public office, is not fit to run for any political office. There are very many things that I may have done in the past that I may regret, but impeaching Rigathi Gachagua is not part of it. I am a proud citizen, a proud member of parliament, that the decision I took to impeach Rigathi Gachagua is a decision that I will defend to the longest period of my life, because he is very tribal. He doesn't see anything without wearing tribal lenses. And I think because of the impeachment that happened at Parliament, I think the guy may have driven himself into some kind of depression, which I have always asked those who are closer to him to kindly consider. And now that he is in the United States, they can consider to admit him in a mental facility. And I want to assure you, if they do so, our former deputy president will be admitted for a period of not less than 5 years.
why do you think so?
I think so because I have a Master of Science in Occupational Health and Safety Science, and there is a unit that I did which is called Study of Human Behavior in Causing Industrial Accidents, study of human psychology in causing accidents in industrial sector, where you analyze the behavior of a worker and conclude that the behavior of this person cannot make the company to entrust him or her in operating this type of machine, because a small error can cause fatalities in an industry. So I have analyzed the statements of this person, the bitterness, what he says, quote unquote. We all understand as a country what we went through during 07-08 post-election violence. We know what happens in Kiambaa Church. And we are also cognizant of the fact that those who perished in Kiambaa Church, they still have their family members alive. And as a country, we vowed and we got committed that we will always assist those families that were affected so that the scars can heal permanently. Only a psychiatric case can remind the country that a day is coming where what we witnessed in 07-08 will look like it's a Christmas party. That can only come from an individual who is deep into depression, who has psychiatric issues, and having psychiatric issues is not only, it's not a preserve of a particular group of people only. Even everybody, including all of us and myself, we can get there So I am simply saying that, my friends, including yourself, the day you
It's currently trending in our
behaving and talking like Rigathi Gachagua, please assist me, just forcefully arrest me and take me to a mental facility. And on the same breath, I am completely asking those who are around Rigathi Gachagua, including Pastor Dorgas, to consider admitting prayers don't assist. A psychiatric case can only be solved by a psychiatrist, and where he is, we have experienced psychiatrists whom I think they can assist him. So that being said, I will be a bit hesitant to respond to claims that are made by a person whom I strongly believe is slipping into depression. Even in, I think we can give him some benefit of doubt. Even in court, there are some serious offences where, before a person takes plea, there must be a psychiatric report to confirm that you are in good mental stability. Otherwise, because you cannot prosecute or imprison an individual with mental instability. The court will wait until there is a determination that that person is in a stable peace of mind. If you will never be in a stable peace of mind, then you cannot be prosecuted. A madman on the road, if a madman on the road beats you up, you can't sue the madman because it's the madman on it.
Mahesh, back to the issue with Tim Wanyonyi. Some citizens of Bungoma think that now that Tim Wanyonyi is coming to vie as the governor of Bungoma, you, Honorable Didmus Barasa, should consider taking part as the Bungoma senator. What do you think of that?
Those are them, and all elective seats available in our constitution in Kenya. It's only the president that requires garnering of 50 plus 1%. All other seats, the winner, the person declared to be the winner, is done so by garnering simple majority. There is nobody in the history of election that has won any election by garnering 100% support of total vote cast. It has never happened. And even my supporters, who are many, they will argue that differently. So I want to make it clear, categorical, that I will run for the governor of Bungoma, regardless of who my competitor is. For your information, for the people of Bungoma to know that I am prepared to move forward. I am even prepared to run against Raila Amolo Odinga if he decides to come and run for governor of Bungoma. Yeah. So, for the people who are listening to me, you must know that because Kenya as a country, we are governed by a constitution that allows anybody who is a Kenyan by birth to run for any elective seat in a constituency or in a county within the territories of Bungoma. Therefore, this means that even Raila Amolo Odinga, the enigma himself, is free to run for whatever seat anywhere. So I am telling the people of Bungoma that even if it's Raila himself who will try to come and run for the seat for the governor of Bungoma, the people will decide.
Mheshimiwa, my last two questions as we conclude. Yesterday there was an interview that was held by the Secretary General for Edwin Sifuna on matters the national government and the current MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding between President William Ruto and Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga under the broad-based government. Sifuna, as the Secretary General for ODM, declares the MOU or the broad-based government null and void. According to you, do you see that the MOU and the broad-based government has worked for the betterment of the people of the Republic of Kenya? And my last question is in regards to the Mulembe Nation at large. Currently, there is a certain force that has been brewing inside the Mulembe Nation, called Tower Movement, led by the Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya. My question to you is, as a voice inside the Mulembe Nation in matters leadership, do you think that Governor George Natembeya in any way can be compared to people like Masinde Muliro and other figures that have led the Mulembe Nation to where it is today in matters leadership? Or can he be compared to Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula?
That is a very good question. I never wanted to say this about Edwin Sifuna, but because you've asked me, I think I will say it. For your information, Sifuna and I were circumcised in the same year. He is my age mate whom we share a lot of things in common. And in our culture, I am not, if I fight with Sifuna, then a goat must be slaughtered, because we are commonly known as Bakoki. We all belong to an age set called Basawa. People were circumcised between the years of 1996 and 1998. So we have such a strong bond. Yeah. If I will circumcise my boy, I have to give Sifuna a cow. You know, if Sifuna's son comes to my compound here during that rite of passage, I have to give them a goat. And I never wanted to say this, but I'm going to say this. The discussion of forming a broad-based government began many months behind the date that it was announced. There was an agreement that ODM will forward experts to join government. And there were many names of the potential cabinet ministers that were to be considered. And Edwin Sifuna's name was there. As the Secretary General of the party, his name was there. Then somehow his name was removed because his leaders preferred Wycliffe Oparanya, and they felt like they should not have two names from the Mulembe Nation as experts. So that is how Edwin Sifuna's name was removed. Of course, there were many discussions and many lobbying. I happen to have been among the people that Sifuna approached to just to ensure push his name through so that he can be appointed cabinet minister. But of course, there are very many of other dynamics that are favored Ampeso Oparanya, including an attempt by some people whom we believed were sponsored by Edwin Sifuna to attempt to go to court and argue that Ampeso Oparanya is have an active case with EACC and is therefore not fit to be appointed as whatever. But Papa strongly believed that he's either Wycliffe Oparanya or no another person from our region. And that is how Sifuna's name was dropped from that list. And I think that made Sifuna was a bit very bitter. He did not support the whole arrangements. Even when he was reading the MOU, knowing that his name was had been removed, he was reading the MOU like he was forced, like as if somebody had put a gun on his head, and that is understood. So whatever Edwin Sifuna says against the broad-based government everywhere, Kenyans should not take it within the seriousness that it deserves, because they should just take it like a jilted lover, like an interested party. And I think from where I sit, Edwin Sifuna is conflicted in talking against the broad-based government because he was an interested party. He's just throwing the vitriol because he was never a beneficiary. But I want to tell you, if his name was among those that were picked for cabinet positions, Sifuna could be a defender of this broad-based government until Jesus comes. So I think the government, the Kenyan people should not read too much in what comes out of Edwin Sifuna, because I have told the country for the first time that Sifuna is a bitter man because his name was removed, and he thought that being the Secretary General of ODM, then he ought to have been the first to be considered an expert for the country. So he has decided now that my expertise were never wanted in the formation of this government. Now he's appearing on TV and all other forums to share his expertise, his wisdom to the rest of the country.
In regards to that, what do you think about Honorable Babu?
You know, let me tell you, Babu, is a very strong governor candidate for Nairobi. Babu, and myself, because of being the people's project, where we have reached, we can win the seats that we are looking for on whatever party, or even without any party. He terrorized the person you've kept mentioning from Nairobi until the guy saw stars. He decided to disappear. And we can only say that the guy living in Nairobi to Bungoma is akin to the proverbial statement that coming out of the frying pan to the fire. It's still the same, still one and the same. So Babu is, if there is a candidate that would give Sakaja sleepless nights, is Babu. That one is a fact. And I think Babu and myself, we have some commonalities. Both our opponents, I'm told, are doing opinion polls after every 2 months. and consistently for the last 2 years, I think we've been very ahead. That's why they usually abandon projects, this one to the other, one to the other, one to the other. And the difference between Babu Wino and myself is that Babu Wino is a very small difference. Yeah. Babu Wino has 2 university degrees. I have 2 university degrees. He has 2 master's degrees. I have 2 master's degrees. I am also a PhD finalist. By December, I will have completed my PhD in public administration.
Congratulations.
And I think we are one of the most educated leaders in our country. And we have the courage to navigate along the political murky waters. This is our time. We are youthful. We have the intelligence of an old man, and we have the charisma of that leader that is required that our country needs to take our country forward. And I think looking at the things that are happening in our country, all those leaders who are in Kano, the best of them is William Samoei Ruto. All those leaders who came from Kano, who germinated during Kano regime, the best of them is William Samoei Ruto. So when William Samoei Ruto completes his term of 10 years by 2032, all those people who are in Kano, you can name them, all of them, they should all retire and go home, so that we can usher in a crop of leaders who germinated during Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta. And so that we can try to now give our country a new dimension of our political leadership. So all those who are in Kano, Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila Odinga, all of them, once William Ruto completes his 10-year term in 2032, they should all not bother us. They should just hold back and leave.
Yes, because the president supported you so much, even during your campaigns as Bungoma governor. The president used to support you a lot. What do you think is his take on regards to now what the Bungoma leaders are doing? Most of them have abandoned you. What do you think is the president's take?
I think there is no leader in Bungoma who has abandoned me. The English definition of the word abandon, it means somebody who was supporting you and they temporarily hide their support for you. For your information, those leaders who you are saying they have abandoned me, they never supported me. You should go and check the records. Yeah. Of course, some will say that I've never reached out to them, but I have my own campaign strategy. What I am doing now is popularizing myself. You know, taking myself to the people so that people can see me, people can know me, can know my behavior, can begin to scrutinize me, can begin to evaluate my capabilities. Then later on, after I have now developed or come up with a clear blueprint of what I will do for the people of Congo, I can now look around and say, whom among these people can assist me in marketing the idea that I have across the country, across the county of Congo? Then I can now begin to look for potential allies. I can now begin to look for example, we have now the teachers, we have Kupet and the KNUT. If I tell the KNUT and Kupet to support me as their governor candidate, based on what? I will push his name. But sometime next year, when it will be ripe for the candidates to spell out their manifesto. That is when we will approach the organized professional groupings, the KMT, the teachers, the business community, to tell them that we are the best bet for Governor of Ngoma because this is what we are going to do for them. But now, my manifestos are in the kitchen. They are being cooked. I go to the kitchen where the manifestos are being cooked every week to test, and I can tell the people of Ngoma from the local things, the salt is sufficient. Yeah, the soup is very nice. I am confident that my manifesto sometime next year, when we will launch them, there will be a killer punch. My manifesto will drive the last nail on the political coffin of my political opponents.
I asked you a question to remind you about your journey.
Very good question. You cannot compare all the current crop of leaders with the Masinde Muliro because the syllabus is completely different. The current leaders, including the one you've mentioned, like myself, like very many leaders of today, we somehow now we have a say in terms of what development the government should initiate in our county. The governors who are here, they have been given a blank check in the resources to run their counties with the autonomy that comes from our constitution. Masinde Muliro was fighting for political space. There was no revolution at that time. There was no revolution at that time. There were no bursaries that he was giving. There were no schools he was building at that time. You know, he was an opposition figure. His role was to fight for repeal of Section 2A so that we can have multi-party democracy. And because the syllabus was different from the syllabus of the current leaders, you can't compare the two. You can't. It's like if you want to compare between Paul Terregat and Musa Otel, who plays football, or Conjestina, the boxer. You can't compare the three because their lines are completely different. Right? And for your information, the people who have always been campaigning on the flip side of Masinde Muliro, Wamarwa Kijana, I don't know, this and that. That slogan, it doesn't hold water nowadays. Because those who are four leaders, they played their role, they exited the political stage, and we have a whole generation who doesn't know them. For your information, I am 40 years of age. I only seen Masinde Muliro, the pictures. I never saw him. At least I saw Wamarwa Kijana when he was vice president. By then I was first year at the university. And I believe I have, my sister was born in 1994. She's married with about, she was born in 1991. She's married with about 3 children. Her first son is in grade 8. She doesn't know Wamarwa Kijana. Because from 1991 to date, she's more than 30 years. Yeah. So we can't really compare our current leaders to those ones of our forefathers because they both operated within a completely different political space. Yeah. But all these political players are to the benefit of our region. We are not equal. We have some who are erratic. We have some who are calm. Yeah, we have some who are by their own nature, they are a bit diplomatic. They bombard issues with decorum. We have others who do things that are formula, who say what they want to say. That is not a weakness; it's a strength that our region should cash in. And I think as we progress, the politics of our country, of our region will just pressure. Yeah, some will falter, some will disappear. But from where I sit, I think in 2027, thereabout, we may experience what our Mama Amudi Awori moment, where when you are watching TV, when the results are streaming in, you see breaking news. Long-serving Cabinet Secretary Nicholas Biwott has lost his seat. The Vice President Mudi Awori has lost his seat. Vice President Musalia Mudavadi has lost his seat. I think 2027 might be the year where some people have dominated the political space for too long, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. I think they may be retired. The possibility of them being retired in projects by the voters, I can say that possibility stands around 70%. I think I've answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
We have time to proceed. You can keep
One last question.
Yeah.
If your brother proceeds to the presidential candidate, are you in a position to support him?
Like I said before, I am a Democrat. I have a very open-minded person. I don't support people because they are my tribesmen. I don't support an individual because he's my brother, or my sister, or my wife, or whatever. Whatever that will persuade me to support an individual is not how that individual looks like. It's not where that individual comes from. It's not about the tribe of that person, the professional background. But I will be persuaded by an agenda, by a philosophy, by a track record, and if I will be persuaded by him in terms of what he will offer for our country, why not?
I have a question about our current governor, Governor Kenneth Lusaka. What do you think about him? As people have been complaining about the people of Ngoma that the governor is very corrupt, that our governor is not doing his work accordingly. What can you say about that? Now that you are going to be the governor of Ngoma, come 2027, if the people of Ngoma now.
Now, Ken Lusaka is the current governor of Ngoma.
Yes.
I, Didmus Barasa, I'm currently rebranding myself. But sometime next year, when it will be ripe for the candidates to spell out their manifesto, that is when we will approach the organized professional groupings, the KMT, the teachers, the business community, to tell them that we are the best bet for government of Ngoma because this is what we are going to do for them. But now, my manifestos are in the kitchen. They are being cooked. I go to the kitchen where the manifestos are being cooked every week to test, and I can tell you, I'm currently resetting myself, factory settings, of course, with the eyes set on running for the governor of Ngoma. I've made enemies before because of defending some people. Part of my branding is to make fences with the people that I have to see one way or the other, so that I can persuade them that I'm the best governor for God. I am willing to also speak against the people that I'm persuading to support me. It is not my business to oversight the current governor of Ngoma. That is the business of the members of the County Assembly of Ngoma. That is the role of one individual called Yongesa, who is the current leader of the County Assembly of Ngoma. I have no business of doing monitoring and evaluation of public consumption about the governor of Ngoma. Yes, I am currently doing monitoring and evaluation about his performance in terms of identifying where he has not done right and where he has done well, for the purposes of continuing with whatever good he is doing and disregarding whatever that I feel he has not done well. For your information, I understand Ngoma like I do half of my part, because the majority about strategic management in constituency development fund, a case of Kabul constituency. My dissertation during masters in public administration was also about Ngoma. It's titled, and one who you say it was about determinants of effective implementation of devolution support program, a case of Ngoma County. Even my PhD dissertation was also about Ngoma. In my PhD dissertation, I am looking at why do the people of Ngoma don't like the government.